Hey guys, I'm Adaptation Jumper. Today I'll be reviewing the LEGO Marvel's Avengers game, which was released back in 2016. Now, this game it basically tells the story of the first two Avengers games, with some levels taken from some of the movies that take place before and after them. So Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Captain America 2, 1, Thor, that sort of thing. And this and the main bulk of this game are those two games, and there are some other levels sprinkled in there, as I said before. The levels based on the games or from the movies that are released before and are or before like both games or before each movie, and as well as there's being some DLC packs which I will get into in the future. And I would say this game is a lot of fun. It's one of those because this game is one of those tie-in movie games where if I think which was kind of a big thing back around the time, and you don't really see a lot of them now, but they were all the rage back in around the 2000s, maybe 2010s, maybe roughly around that time period. And I would say this was probably one of the better ones, kind of, because it's a Lego game, and I think Lego games don't really miss when it comes to a lot of their adaptations of TV, or well, not really TV shows. I would say movies or whatever they're adapting, and I would say Marvel's Avengers is pretty good. The only thing that I'm not a huge fan on is the way that they use the dialogue from the movies, because it's just voice clips of the actors that appear in the movies and to just put it into the game. I'm not a huge fan of that, and I think in my opinion, it would have been better if they got sound alikes maybe, or or whoever was voicing the characters in the cartoons at the time to voice the Avengers maybe, because there are some lines that in the game saying, "Oh, Captain Rogers, Iron Man, we need your help. Is this thing busted? Is my mic or radio busted?" And they don't reply, and they don't even reply to some of the other characters that might be in the level. Like, for example, in the Captain America Hydra level, that's like one of the early levels in the game. You have Bucky as a secondary player character, and I think from what I remember, Bucky does talk to Cap a couple of times, like, "Cap, we have to get through this train," or something like that, and Cap doesn't reply. And I think it would have been a lot better if they got someone, or they had like the person who was voicing Captain America in the cartoons to voice him maybe. And I think that would have made the game a lot better. And they could still do the thing of they take the lines from the movies and stuff and put them into the game, but have someone else voice them. But I think it's fine, like with the whole voice clip thing, but like it does get very limited a lot of the time, especially when it gets to the second movie of the Avengers. So yeah, I would say overall, with when it comes to that part, not a huge fan, but it's somewhat enjoyable, I would say. So yeah. So when it comes to the actual game itself, there are some interludes before some parts of the game. So, for example, before Captain America goes on the helicarrier, he's at the gym, and then after the gym, he has to go to a specific area on the map in New York to go to before the next major level happens. And that's fun because that's a bit of a sort of free play roaming area, which you can do and be like, okay, I can now just do some of the stuff or some of the side content in the game that you can do in Manhattan. And yeah, that's quite fun, and I would say it's somewhat enjoyable. So yeah, and now it's time for some gameplay. So, when it comes to like the story, you like with a lot of Lego games, uh, you'll start off with characters that are based in the level. So I've already done this level, but I'm just playing this in story mode to show you that that this sort of thing always happens when it does become, or when you first start playing Lego games, because each Lego game has you control about 2 to 3 characters, maybe 4 or 5, depending on the level. And then in free play mode, you can choose. I believe you can choose who you want to use in a level, which I think is quite cool. Well, I think it's all a nice thing to do, because I believe if you want to go for 100%, Lego games are good in terms of you choosing different characters and just using their abilities in different ways to so that you can not only beat the level again, but also collect some of the missable collectibles that you might not have been able to collect in normal play. And also, you just heard, this game uses uses clips or voice clips from the movies, and they're used within different parts of the level, or just when you're not. Well, basically, it's throughout the game when you're in or out of particular levels. So, I believe if you're because, for example, in Age of Ultron, during the Age of Ultron section, doing the bit with where they're at the farm and Tony's at the trying to work on the tractor, you will hear the character voice lines from the movies. So yeah, that's quite interesting and fun to hear. It is nice. I think it's kind of like just it's fine, I would say, but like it would be nice to hear like sound likes. I think I will be saying this in the next section of the review, but I'm just going to add it here. I would have preferred it if they go like guides from like cartoons to voice it, but I don't mind. It's just like it's just one of those things where it's like it's fine. I enjoy hearing the stuff, but it does take me out of the game a bit with the voice lines from the movies. So yeah. And also within each of the levels, there's like different puzzles you can do, and just like in a lot of other games, when it comes to like abilities or certain stuff, you all need specific characters. So for this bit, it's mainly focusing on Nick Fury and Hawkeye, because their abilities are are basically necessary for this part of the level. But in free play mode, there will be other characters that with similar abilities that will be able to go through this level easier and faster. So, and also, each character has different, I would say, ultimate abilities or ultimate attacks. And if you get close to the secondary character, you can do that ultimate attack. But you do have to wait until the bar or the circle around your character model has fully charged up. So yeah, so that's been it for the gameplay. Now to go back to the review. So overall, I would say that the LEGO Marvel's Avengers game is a very fun adaptation of the first 2 movies, as well as a good adaptation, I would say, of some of the other films that they adapted when it comes to like Iron Man 1 and 2 and 3, Captain America 1 and 2, Thor, and that sort of thing. And I think it keeps that sort of like Lego charm to it, because there's a lot of like jokes that you might see like in person, or it comes like to the foreground or the background, and it's one of those games where like if you want to try and get like all the jokes, I would say you might want to, I think it's one of those things where like if you're playing in like years later, there might be a joke that you might not have realized on your first go, or there might be another joke that you might not have realized, or stuff like that. So like when it comes to like the Lego Marvel's Avengers game, or any other of the like other Lego games, whether that's adapting a movie or just doing a new thing with the characters like Iron Man, Captain America, or stuff like that, there might be like a lot of different jokes just going about the place in either the cutscenes or in the particular levels themselves. So yeah, and I would say overall, this game is quite fun. I think it's one of those levels that's kind of like charming as well as peaceful to play through, especially if you have a friend. And sometimes that can be a bit chaotic sometimes, because you might have like a friend who's just like firing at all places, and you might get hit in the process by accident or stuff like that. But I would say overall, it's just a fun game to play in single player or multiplayer, I would say. And it's just a really, really fun game. And I do like how with some of the transformations, for example, with the Iron Man transformations, if you I think press and hold the triangle button, if you're playing on the PlayStation versions, you can choose the different Iron Man suits. So the Hulkbuster, the Mark 7, the Mark 12, or whatever, and it's whatever armors there are that you can do, because I know that you can use the Mark 7 and the Hulkbuster. I think there is some other Iron Man armor marks, but I don't know how to remember what they are at the moment. But and once you've called one in, you can have a different sort of a bit of animation appear. So if you're choosing the Hulkbuster one, you'll just jump into it while it's being called down. If you picked one of the others, I think the Mark 7, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, it will appear from behind, and then he'll just tap you lightly. Tony Stark will jump a bit, and then he'll jump into the suit. So that's quite cool. And other stuff that that's shown from the movie and stuff like that. So yeah, overall, it's a fun game. It's quite cool to play with as the characters and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's been my review for the Lego Marvel's Avengers games. Or game. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.